Imagine this. You've spent months, maybe even years, gathering all the documents, paying the fees, attending interviews, and waiting anxiously for your green card approval. Everything seems on track. Then suddenly, without warning, you receive a denial notice. Why? Because one single form was missing: the medical exam form. This is not a hypothetical story anymore. Under the brand new USCIS policy, if you don't submit your medical examination form, also known as Form I-693, your green card application can be instantly denied. No extra time to fix the mistake. No second chance to send it later. Just a straight rejection. And let's be honest, many of us know how overwhelming the immigration process can be. The forms are long, the instructions are confusing, and even small errors can feel like traps. For seniors especially, who may be relying on children or sponsors to handle paperwork, this new rule raises real concerns. Imagine putting in all that effort, waiting for months, only to see it all fall apart because of one overlooked document. But here's the important part: you don't have to fall into that trap. In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly what this new USCIS rule means, why it's such a big deal for green card applicants, and most importantly, how you or your loved ones can avoid being denied. I'll share step-by-step tips to make sure your medical form is filed properly, what to double-check before sending your application, and what seniors in particular need to know about the medical exam requirement. So if you want to protect your time, money, and peace of mind, make sure you watch this video until the end. Trust me, you'll walk away knowing exactly what to do so this rule doesn't ruin your green card journey. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor: hit that like button right now. It really helps spread this vital information to other seniors and families who might not be aware of this critical change. Now, let's really dig into what this new USCIS policy means and why it's catching so many people off guard. For years, USCIS used to be a little more flexible when it came to missing documents. If you forgot to include something like your medical form, they would often send you what's called a request for evidence, or an RFE. That basically meant they gave you another chance, a letter saying, "Hey, we noticed your medical form is missing. Please send it in by this deadline." And once you sent it, your case would move forward. It was stressful, but at least you weren't out of the game completely. But things have changed. Under the new policy, USCIS is taking a much stricter approach. If the medical exam form isn't in your application package when they review it, they don't have to ask you for it anymore. Instead, they can just deny the whole application right there on the spot. That means months of waiting, thousands of dollars in filing fees, and all that emotional energy you've invested could be gone in an instant. And to make it worse, there's no refund. Once those fees are paid, they're gone. Now, let's pause here and really think about this. For seniors especially, this is a big deal. Many of you watching might have family members or even children who are helping you through this process. Maybe you don't always understand all the steps yourself, and you're putting your trust in someone else to make sure everything is correct. And most of the time, they're doing their best. But even a small oversight, forgetting one form, mixing up the paperwork, or assuming USCIS will give you a second chance, can now cost you everything. I know for a fact that many seniors applying for green cards are doing so for family unity. You want to be with your children, your grandchildren, and you don't want to live far away from the people you love. You're not just filling out forms, you're building a future, hoping for security, stability, and peace in your later years. That's why this policy feels especially harsh. It puts all the pressure on applicants to be absolutely perfect the first time, and if not, the consequences are immediate. So, what exactly is this medical form we're talking about? It's called Form I-693, Report of Medical Examination and Vaccination Record. Every green card applicant has to complete it, no exceptions. The purpose is to show USCIS that you meet the health requirements for permanent residency in the United States. It's not something you can just fill out at home. It has to be completed by a USCIS-approved doctor, known as a civil surgeon. The doctor will perform a physical exam, check your vaccination history, and make sure you don't have certain medical conditions that could affect your eligibility. Once it's complete, the doctor gives you the sealed form, and that sealed envelope has to go directly to USCIS with your application. That's why this new rule is causing so much stress. It removes the safety net. Instead of USCIS working with you to correct the small oversight, they're now saying, if it's missing, we're done. And while that might sound tough, it's the reality we're dealing with today. Which is why I want to make sure you feel prepared, not panic. So, how can you avoid falling into this trap? First, it's all about preparation. Before you even submit your green card application, make sure you schedule your medical exam with an approved USCIS doctor. Don't wait until the last minute, because sometimes those appointments take weeks to secure. Once you've had your exam, the doctor will hand you the sealed envelope with the completed Form I-693 inside. Do not open it, no matter how tempting it might be to check what's inside. USCIS won't accept an opened envelope. Instead, make sure that sealed envelope goes directly into your application package. For seniors who may be relying on their children, caregivers, or even immigration consultants, here's a simple piece of advice. Double-check everything together. Sit down with your family or the person helping you and go over the checklist line by line. Ask the question, do we have the sealed medical form ready to go? If the answer is no, don't mail the application until you do. Remember, it's better to wait a little longer to send everything correctly than to rush and face a denial. Let's also talk about the emotional side of this. I know how discouraging it can feel to hear about stricter policies and new hurdles. Many seniors tell me they already feel overwhelmed by the complexity of USCIS, and now they worry even more about making mistakes. But I want to reassure you, knowledge is power. By being aware of this new rule, you're already ahead of the curve. You won't be caught off guard. You won't be the one saying, I wish I had known. Instead, you'll be the one who's prepared, confident, and ready to submit everything properly. Think of this video as a kind of roadmap. By following it, you'll protect yourself from unnecessary stress and financial loss. You'll also give yourself peace of mind, knowing that when you send in that application, you've done everything in your power to get it right. That kind of confidence is priceless, especially when you're dealing with something as life-changing as a green card. And here's something else to keep in mind. Seniors often play a unique role in immigration journeys. You might be the one applying for a green card yourself, or you might be guiding your children or grandchildren who are going through this process. By staying informed, you're not just protecting your own future, you're helping your entire family avoid mistakes. That sense of responsibility and wisdom is something I know many seniors carry proudly. And in this case, your knowledge could be the difference between success and disappointment. Now, as we move through this video, I'll be walking you through practical tips and real-life examples to make everything clearer. I'll explain the timing of the medical exam, how long the results are valid for, and what to do if your application is already pending and you're unsure about your medical form. Because the truth is, this new USCIS policy doesn't have to scare you. Once you understand it, you can work with it instead of against it. So, don't go anywhere. Stay with me until the end. This information could save you months of frustration and potentially thousands of dollars in lost fees. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. There are so many seniors out there going through the exact same process, feeling the exact same worries. By watching this video, you're part of a community that's learning, supporting each other, and moving forward together. And before we dive into those step-by-step tips, I just want to pause and ask you again, if you're finding this information valuable, please take a moment to hit the like button. It helps more seniors and families see this video and protect themselves from unnecessary green card denials.